SM7D. This is the new one.
That's a good one, huh?
It is a good one, yeah.
I knew it. You got the better chair, the better mic.
You have the better camera.
How?
That's the better camera. This is not a good camera.
That's because the editing will be done by you.
That's true. I can send it to your editing team. If you want, I can send it to your editing team.
My editing team claims that you have hired a professional to do your job.
Okay, so you see all the professionals are sitting behind the cameras. Hello guys, thank you very much for being here. It's I need your help. Okay, focus is okay.
Yes.
You're okay. Focus is okay. Okay, hit record please. Record. Okay, so the audio team is happy. The video team is happy, the lighting team is happy, everybody's happy.
It's good to see your team over here because you killed my team and they were there in World Trade Center.
That was 2 years ago.
Still, I'm just letting you know. I'm leaving your team alone, but you almost killed a team member of mine.
Oh my God, I know. Remember when he came and the ambulance came and oh God, you reminded me now.
Yeah, and I remember your words after that. The one soldier down it's okay, just bring the other ones in. that was a bit heartless, but
so that was recorded. I know now it's timeless. It will stay forever. I'm not gonna put it in the episode, but how do you feel? Tell me, how do you feel?
Good.
You feel okay? Crying? No, don't cry. Don't cry. I think that's
tears of joy.
That's tears of the taste of the coffee. 1 second. Welcome to episode 12 of Escapade, a show about evolving to become the best version of ourselves. In Escapade, I host guests who are adventurous and change their status quo. This is a show that hopefully will help you write a new story as it would for me. If this is your first time here, consider subscribing, liking, and engaging, as this would trigger the YouTube algorithm and put this content in front of more people. I'm your host Usama Nouri, and today we're with a hustler who became an employee who became an entrepreneur who became a business owner who refused to sell his business for $500 million because he thinks he can turn it into a 1.5 billion unicorn. A dear friend, Salman.
That was an amazing introduction. No, I wasn't offered 500 just to start off with.
Okay, how much were you offered?
It was 50, 10 additional.
50 million?
50 million. But I believe it'll be way more than that. And the number is right. I believe it's going to be 1.5 billion, but it was 50 million.
That's a unicorn number, you know that?
Yeah, 50?
1.5 billion.
What we want.
That's a billion. That's a Silicon Valley sort of unicorn number. It's unbelievable. You really believe so?
I'm trying to aim up there. You never know. I mean, it could be a joke. We could have another call and then you could say, that's not going to happen. But it's you try.
I would never say that. I have. See, I'll tell you what. How many years have I known you now? 5 years?
Yeah.
Three. I think 4 years.
4 or 5 years.
4 or 5 years. I'll tell you what, the only person, and I say this on record, on camera, the only person that I know that is a true entrepreneur is you. Like a true entrepreneur. I might have pissed off a couple of friends. But when I say true entrepreneur, because it's like the word entrepreneur is so much devalued. Again, I'm not trying to label anyone and I'll talk about anyone. I'm just saying the word entrepreneur is overused in a bad way. I mean, how do you think about that?
I don't know. Everybody seems entrepreneurial these days, and in fact, I never put the word entrepreneur on my LinkedIn just till a year back. I'm being very honest, and
you've been an entrepreneur for what, like 6-7 years now, 5 years, or has it been forever?
I think it's been forever.
Okay, so this is okay. So I've known you for 4 years now.
Yeah.
You've hinted at how you started when you were 13 and 14. We never actually spoken. You never actually spoken about your starting and how you started and how you hustled. What influenced you to be you?
My start was very, very streetwise. I started off in school. I sold anything I could get my hands on. there was a time my mom would still tell all her friends that it was a harsh rainy day, never came back home. So she's like, oh, it's really late. At 7:45, 8 p.m., she comes to the school with an umbrella to find me selling, the WWF cards to the other students.
While you were at school?
Yeah, while I was at school. So I was like, no, I was trying to trade these so that, I could get, more. My mom's like, what are you doing? It's a stormy day outside. She caught my ears and she pulled me back home.
But where did you get this idea? How did you, I'm sure you were influenced by someone or...
I don't know. I think it was always there in my mind. To be very frank, it was about making some money. I needed more cash to party more, to buy new clothes, to do what I wanted
That's
to do.
That's a noble cause.
Yeah.
But you see, the thing is, yeah, I know. The way I believe in it is if you have a purpose, if you have a goal, whatever this goal is, it will drive you to do the impossible at any age, correct?
Yes. And that's what started, and that's how it started. And I think I've sold cell phones, I've sold clothes,
Where did you get the money to buy those to sell it then?
This is very interesting. It's one of my uncles had a stash of these secondhand phones which he used to send to India a long time back, and and these phones were valued more in India. So when I went to his house, I saw these phones and I said, "What are you doing with these?" He's like, "No, I just bought a whole lot in hundreds, 200s. It comes with a one fixed price. You don't sell it like, okay." So I said, "Okay, give me some." Let me take care of them. So I used to take 30, 20 off him, and then, I used to turn that around. I mean, I did whatever I can to get, my hands on some money.
But see, I have to say, it's amazing. Okay, so I come from a background, culture of you need to study well, make sure that you're focusing on your studies, make sure you have high grades, make sure you go to university, get high grades in university, become an A student, go find a dream job, work on your career, have a high paying job, make sure that you save as much as possible so you can have a retirement where you can relax. That's where I come from. Literally just a few years back, where I thought to myself, that doesn't make sense. Because what if I saved, even if it's $1 million, right? Or $2 million? But what will happen, like what's happening now in Lebanon, for example, or what happened in Venezuela or Iraq? Money is worthless. Like something could happen where money is completely worthless. Jobs, you can get fired tomorrow. So the concept of study, have a high grade, make sure you focus on your career, which was my world, was with me all along until I was like 35, 36. You never had that from when you were young.
I come from a similar background. It's no different. If you look into my family, my dad's side, everybody's a PhD or a doctor or a master's degree, and I think in India you would say a lot of, almost majority of them come from a similar background. It's God's grace and His blessing that probably I had a different mindset. To be very honest with you, I didn't like this mindset in the beginning. And it's simply because, these stories that I tell you sounds interesting. And, it looks like, okay, it was a lot of fun and, I made a lot of money. But it's the other way around. Because I lost out on a lot of education with school.
Yeah.
And I was more focused on doing these things, which I couldn't do well. I failed a lot. I failed and I failed and I failed and I failed. I did make some. Let's say you made 100, but I lost 150. So I was in debt at, trying to do the next thing to cover this and then the next thing to cover that. And, things kept going wrong.
This is from the beginning.
From the very beginning. And I'm telling you.
How old were you?
I started since I'm 12. So.
Oh my God.
Yeah, but the depths
I was wasting my time playing Atari at the time.
No. My depths came in when I was in college, when in the first year of college, and then I was forever in in that. But but it's God's grace. I had good friends. I had supportive family. Um, I had good training because my grandfather was into a leather business. So fortunately, he was staying with me when I was young. So I picked up a lot from him as a business
Right.
owner mindset. But even him, from the time I have memory of consciousness, I've seen him lose.
Right. Your grandfather?
Yes, I've seen him lose. So, I haven't seen him grow, but I've seen him lose. Okay, that's gone. Next is gone. Next is gone. Next is gone. Till it came to the very last
How
end.
did that influence you? You should steer away from entrepreneurship then.
No.
He was an entrepreneur, I think, like a business owner.
Yeah, he was an entrepreneur. But that's where you're wrong.
Hmm.
See, that's where I feel that, people have got the concept of entrepreneurship wrong. It's not about the success. It's about how you embrace failure. If you can embrace failure and get up and keep moving to fail again,
To fail again.
to fail again, and then again and again and again, and not lose the motivation that you had the first time, you will survive. I wouldn't say you're going to succeed, but I will say you will survive. And I'm still surviving. And it's not like, oh, Take Leap has done very well. I've made a lot of money. I'm swimming in it. No, every year I'm on the verge of failing, the company all over again. And every year I come back and tell my core team, this is the year we're going to make it, because I believe it. I just need the one strike to cover it all up. And it's the motivation. It's purely the motivation.
It's amazing. Seriously, it's amazing because it's always about the inflection point, right? There's this one point in time where everything turns. It's like this very old story of that person who used to look for gold and kept on digging for gold.
Mm-hmm.
And then he kept on digging and digging and digging until he didn't know any better. So he quit. He sold that space to someone else who dug just 3 meters, and he was able to get that gold, and he became the biggest millionaire in the States. This is a real story that happened back in the 30s or the 20s in the States. So you become immune to failure? Is this what you're saying?
No, you are going to embrace failure without losing motivation, and that's what you need to do. And
So-
I honestly believe that. And when things go really bad, I'm okay. It's not going to get my stress high, or it's not going to think. But I'm so used to embracing failure, I'm not good at embracing success.
You get scared of it?
No, I'm not. I don't get scared of it, but I don't spend my money wisely when I get success. You got what I'm saying? I'm very good at managing failure, but I'm not good at managing success. And there's a pros and cons of everything. I sometimes feel that if there was somebody else in my place, they would have taken this company far more higher than where it is right now.
So let's go back to the beginning. You were an employee at a certain point in time. You had a boss. This boss was giving you a certain amount of money for the work that you do. And then what you did is you said, you know what? I'm just out. I'm going to start my own business, be my own boss, be an entrepreneur. And this is where I think you were able to do it because you had that in you, the embracing failure. So, for example, I'm a theoretical person. I'm not yet a real entrepreneur in the sense that you're talking about. I still have a job, a stable salary. I do things here and there, but I don't qualify to be a real entrepreneur. But from the theory, entrepreneurs are one or two groups. Either someone who found a problem and therefore he found an opportunity, so he quit and starts working on it, or someone who has an idea, he doesn't know where does it fit, but he knows if he works on it, he will start making money eventually. Did you have one of those before you quit?
So when I came to Dubai, it wasn't actually a job. It was unpaid. So Graham Robert Ross, a good friend of mine, now and even then before, he gave me an opportunity to say, hey, you sell, you make a percentage. You don't sell, I don't care. It wasn't like a job. It wasn't that he was paying me weekly or monthly, a fixed income. And me being me, and me being working in India all my life like that, I felt, okay, that's more apt. It doesn't bound me by time, or it doesn't bound me by this employee thing. So I felt comfortable, even though my whole family thought that was the most stupid move I made. But guess what? I think that was a really good decision that I took in my life, because this guy was a millionaire who went bankrupt in the UK, and he came back to the UAE to start fresh. I really learned a lot from this guy. And it gives you a different perspective of how you sell, and how you spend, and how you wake up every morning just to go out there. And the kind of motivation and the confidence was amazing. And that's what I learned. And eventually, we worked with each other because we were friends. And there came a point where things weren't great between the two of us. So I said, okay, I'm just going to go out and do my own thing. It wasn't I got an idea, or I could have done it before, but it's just a camaraderie.
Right.
Sometimes you just feel that now is not the time. Enough. Not enough is enough. He was a nice guy, but things were sore between us at some point of time. So it just had time for me to move on.
which is I think it's a blessing. Probably it's the best decision you've done in your life, isn't it?
Everything is a good decision. There is no bad decision. God gives it to you when He wants to, and when He doesn't give it to you, also it's a good decision.
So I remember you mentioned to me once that you slept in your car. You didn't have anything to spend. Was it before or after?
There have been several times. Listen, when I started out, I was literally working 18 hours a day. Sometimes.
When you started your own thing.
Yeah, but there was no. Dubai is an expensive city. It's you really need to have money to survive. I had borrowed money from almost everyone I knew. It wasn't easy. It's a normal entrepreneurial journey. Everybody has tough times, and I'm not going to make mine look out of the world. And it's some people have more, tougher stories than what I've gone through. But like I said, you wake up the next day and you have the same motivation as you had the day before.
Even though you have all the debt in the world, all the kind of uncertainties of what will lie ahead, but still, did anyone from the people that you borrowed money from file a complaint, or did you get a call from the police at any certain point in time?
No.
Because you never did, yeah? At least not on record. Okay, point taken.
No one had to file a complaint.
Because that's from a couple of my friends also, they're entrepreneurs. They had to go through this uncertainty of not being able to pay because they're on the verge of something, but then it never happens on time and people are not waiting. And
Usama, nothing has changed. I still borrow money.
So that is good.
No, that is not good. Trust me, it's not good. I mean, I have different people saying, different opinions there. But my personal opinion is I don't like debt. And if I can now go back in time, I would probably not take the debt I have, whatever little I have. But
no, did you take debt to spend it on partying and just stuff that is useless, or did you take it for business? I'm assuming you took it for business. Say you took it for business.
Yes.
Okay, good.
Yes, obviously I took that.
Because why else would you take a debt, right?
Why would I take a debt to go party?
To go or to travel to Maldives, or I don't know where. It doesn't make sense, does it?
No, I took debt to party with you that night, remember?
Okay, that part definitely is going to be cut.
When you went back home and your wife was calling you.
You can't tell that to my wife. No, but the concept of debt. So, there's a guy called Robert Kiyosaki. He's the author of Rich Dad, Poor Dad. So he's one of the godfathers of investments, and he's a friend of most of the investors in the world. And he's one of those big, well-known guys who think that we shouldn't work for money. We should make money work for us. So it's that concept where You start by hustling and making money for a few years. Once you make enough money, then your education should be on how to make money work for you and make more money for you, and then you retire for the rest of your life. Retire not means go to the to the beach or to some hotel and just spend it there. No, retire as in now you work, but you don't work as much. You become a business owner and investor. And he has another book called the Rich Dad's Cash Flow Quadrant. So the way his philosophy is, and I like his philosophy, and let me know what you think about it. He thinks that people, everyone on this earth, are one of four groups. They're either an employee, or they're self-employed, or they're business owners, or they're investors. So he thinks that the weakest are the employees, followed by self-employed, then business owners, then investors. And the reason why, his rationale is, if you're an employee, that means there's a salary. You work, you get a salary. You don't work, you don't get a salary. So there's a risk there. If you're self-employed, you're still better because you're your own boss. But the thing is, you have to work more to make more money. So the more you need, the more you have to work. So you don't own your own time. But then you move on to becoming a business owner. That means you established a process, a business, and then you have people work for you. And there you don't have to work as much. And perfect examples are people like Warren Buffett and Bill Gates and others, where they don't work as much, and therefore they go into philanthropy and other things, and they're still making more money, and they're on the top of the food chain. Obviously, the best of the best is the investors who have all the money in the world invested in big stocks and real estate and others, where money makes them more money, right? What do you think about that?
I think I'm all for. And I think most of the people are almost all for. I'm an employee in my own company.
Not by his definition. So an employee is someone who has a contract with an employer. If you're the one, then you're self-employed.
I know, but you got to understand. Let me work top down. I invest in stocks. I make money for me. I invest in crypto. I make money for me. I don't even look into it. I put in, $10,000, $20,000 here, $50,000 there. I multiply. Sometimes I win, sometimes I lose, sometimes I just track it. I keep walking away. I own a couple of businesses that I don't go to at all. And I've invested my money in there. I have other people managing it for me. There's a couple of business ideas that I think was smart that I put in some cash 4-5 years back. I have another managing director running it for me. We have meetings now and then. We see what's the health of the company, and I walk away. It's not big businesses. I'm talking smaller investments up to 500,000 dirhams. And these small ones. And I'm self-employed in my own company, basically, more or less. I do go morning to evening, look into the financials, work for it, and make sure that it's healthy. Go for sales meetings. I've sought a lot of meetings with you.
Correct.
Yes.
So do you think you're financially independent? Okay, before you answer this question, what's your definition of financial independence?
I don't know.
So what's Salman's definition of financial independence?
I've been hustling for money all my life. And am I financially independent? No. Will I be financially independent? I don't think so.
Why do you think you're not financially independent?
My hands are too itchy. Like I said, the moment I make money, I give it out or I do something else with it.
But at least you have, I think, in my opinion, the definition of financial independence is if you have multiple sources of income, in the sense of if one falls, at least you're surviving. You're not a slave to an entity or some sort of a unit that generates your revenue. And then if that unit tells you bye-bye, or it just closes down for whatever reason, you're exposed.
See, it's relative. And I've been seeing a lot of these entrepreneurship videos and screenshots that keep coming on my WhatsApp from some friends and Instagram and everything else that says, oh, you need to have multiple sources of income, you need to do this, you need to do that. Let me tell you something. In the last 5 years, it's put me the other way around. I've got a couple of properties in Dubai which sank over 30-40%. My mortgage is higher than my the value of the property, so it's eating into my capital of what I make.
So it's a
today.
liability
It's
rather
a,
than
it's a
an asset.
liability instead of financial independence. The businesses that I have, everybody talks about the success. I'm telling you the hard truth. With the pandemic, everything took a hit. So, so it's now not only about supporting the business that I'm currently working in. I have to end up supporting the businesses that I've invested into also. But the only thing
you mean putting more money
Yes.
into it, more time.
more money and more time, and it's consuming. So look at it this way: for somebody like me, property is liability. The company that you own for, you are debt in, you work for. The companies that you invested in, you need to come up with some kind of a cash flow because you are an investor over there. The only thing that did well was, the stock market tanked, but it quickly bounced back.
That's good.
But it's not got that kind of a cash flow in there that I can support the rest of the three out here. It's a hustle all over again. You're back at ground zero. But what do? You just don't lose motivation. You just keep up, put a smile on your face, and keep moving forward. So financial independence is very, very relative to what, the more you have, the more time it's going to consume of you. And you got to decide, at what is it that you prefer? Where do you think is comfortable? You could have financial independence with just a job because you have decided that lifestyle is what I'm going to live. Or you could have, financial independence with 10 incomes coming in and still be in debt all your life and think you're going to sink the next day.
Right.
So it comes down to your lifestyle. Choose your lifestyle wisely.
I think I don't know. In this case, my definition is a bit different than yours, and therefore I disagree. Do you agree that money is very, very important?
No.
Without money, you cannot live.
No.
So you can live without money. How would you pay your bills? How would you pay your health care insurance, or God forbid bills? How do you pay your school education?
Chief, it's your lifestyle. You could live with no money, just go live with your parents. If it's about surviving, you're going to survive.
Not about survival.
Yeah.
No. So I'm talking about sustenance, ability to put food on the table, ability to pay the doctor, ability to pay a school fee. You need money.
I'm not saying you don't need money. I'm just trying to say...
My problem is without money,
yes,
people will be a person, myself. It's difficult to live. And that's how the world is. No, it's not about how much. It's about without money. So let's say, for example, I'm an employee and I live paycheck to paycheck, which means I have a salary of, let's say, 1,000 dirhams. By the end of the month, the 1,000 dirhams is gone for all of my expenses. Not lifestyle, literal expenses, right? And then the next month, I have another 1,000 dirhams. 3-4 months, I get laid off. I got fired. The company closed down for whatever reason. That source of income stopped. And there's no other job. I either beg, I go to my family and beg, or I die in this world. Currently, in this door, I die from hunger. And people actually go through these problems if money does not exist. So money in this world, we're not talking 200 years ago where you can grow your own stock and have your own farm. Now, without actual money that can live you above at least poverty level, which is something that many people don't even reach in many countries, how can you have any sort of life, let alone happiness?
Usama, what is your skill?
Okay, so you touched on a very important point.
What is your skill set?
So let's agree.
Let's say everything that's around me right now fails. Okay, I will look into the fact, what is my skill? Can I pick up A product and sell it to B with a smaller margin? Can I sell? Yes, I can sell something as small as that. If I have cash flow, I would buy it myself and do it, keep bigger profits. If I don't have cash flow, I'll go sell for somebody else and make a smaller margin. You tap into your skill set when you have nothing left. And you don't come down to zero. You still have yourself. You still have your skill set. The only time I look into somebody, who I feel is literally helpless is when they don't have health. That is the biggest loss. The loss is not your employment, loss is not your money, loss is not everything else. You got what I'm saying? When you don't have health, that is the real loss.
I love what you're saying. It's really profound. You know why? I just finished reading a book by Napoleon Hill. It's a timeless book, Think and Grow Rich. It's literally authored in 1932. I read it for the third time. He exactly has that mindset. He says, you only start with no money, but with a skill. Make sure that you develop your skill, develop your education. That is your money. That is your value.
Exactly.
And then you exchange it for money. But my question is, which what you said is very profound, yeah? Why do people sit without jobs? Why do people sit without jobs and without any sort of income for literally months? I have friends now.
It's your mindset, Usama. I've done it to myself. Sometimes I just don't feel like working. I just don't.
They're looking for jobs.
It's your mindset. I don't feel like working. I need the money. I need the business. I need to survive, but I don't feel like doing it. Some people are depressed. Some people have emotional anxiety. Some people have a different, issue, problem. They have, there are a lot of things that surround. I can't single out an individual. You got to appreciate what everybody is capable of, and you got to appreciate what they are not capable of also. And that's why it's okay to fail. It's okay. You don't feel like working. It's okay. Take a break. But you know where your limit is. I know how long I can sit down and do nothing. When I reach that tipping point, I know that this is where I call it quits. You got what I'm saying? And some people have higher patience and some people, just give up. And nobody can, you can't go eat for somebody else. They need to eat for themselves. So if they need to put themselves together and get back up there to go fight the war, they need to do it. You got what I'm trying to say? It's a mindset. It's not a compulsion. And I feel sorry for people who are compelled to do it. I wouldn't say everybody in the world has the opportunity to do it. And some people are in war and conflict. They have the mindset to do it. They have the skill set to do it. They have the capability. But unfortunately, the circumstances isn't allowing them. And I really wish them well. And, I pray for them to walk out of that. But I see a lot of people out there who have the opportunity, who are in the right place, who have the education, but they're just lazy. And, and I
Do you have sympathy for them?
No, I feel sorry for them too. You got what I'm saying? It's not sympathy. You never know what their problem is, and it's not for me to criticize anyone. There have been times that I've had the opportunity to go close the next big deal. I've just decided, no, I'm not going there because I don't feel like it. You got what I'm saying? And I can only reflect what I've done for myself with everybody else, and I can't blame them. For me, sitting by myself that day was more important than the $1 million deal. You got what I'm saying? Everything doesn't come down to money, and that's why I said money is not. It was, and it will always be a driving factor for a lot of people. I read this quote that day. You're better off crying in a Ferrari than in a cycle, which is true. You got what I'm trying to say? But I wish them, people have different mindsets and eventually people will grow. And I've seen a few friends of mine who have told me that I've come down to the last few hundreds of thousands of cash that they have. And then, mashallah, alhamdulillah, by God's grace, they've hit the bottom and straight away gone back on top. And I've seen some of them who were flying high up there thinking nothing's going to go wrong, and they've come down crashing. And I think, you need that circle of life. You need to be up there sometimes, to enjoy what you have worked for. And you need to be down here sometimes to appreciate what is, happening. Simple things in life.
Wow. This is very profound. Honestly, I've never heard you say this before, but there's there is value for money, but it's a mindset. So if you're ready to actually do something for money, then go and do it. The problem is people don't have the mindset to do it, and they just keep on looking for something else that is up there, which doesn't exist, and therefore they stay jobless for the longest period. But if they just employ their skills correctly, then they will be able to make money.
Most of my failure is because my route to shortcuts. I work hard, make some money, and then I think, oh, fine, let me invest in that. I think I'm going to turn around a quick buck or two. Bang, it's gone.
And then it's gone.
What I've earned is gone, plus some more is gone. I'm telling you, it's my own laziness. I don't blame anybody for it.
Because you try shortcuts.
Yes, and that's what everybody does. It's human nature. It's how people are.
Okay. Last question. And it wouldn't be an escapade if I don't ask you this, Salman. Yeah. If there is one question that you would have wanted me to ask, what would that be?
I don't know. I'm more of an open book. Honestly, I don't know. You could ask whatever you want.
Okay. There's a question where, when will you achieve the 1.5 billion in your own timeline, in your own plan? Every plan must have activities, resources, timeline. When do you think you will achieve the 1.5 billion valuation?
Listen, you know what?
Like 5 years, 10 years?
I've been sometimes wondering, I got the right recipe. And why haven't I turned it around myself? And then I realized that, when God thinks that I'm ready to embrace that, it will happen. And I'm happy for what He's given, and I'm even more happy for what He's not given. So if I have it, I don't have it yet, it's because it isn't time yet. And whether it comes in 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, I can't be bothered, because I love this journey. The journey of, I with or without money, I still have a laugh every day.
I know that.
And I think that's the most beautiful thing. And this is the money is irrelevant. As long as I can continue having that laugh, and as long as I can continue getting motivated the next day I wake up to go work, I don't care about the failure. I don't care about the success too. What would make me really, really, really happy is a sense of achievement for myself. Because every time I reach a certain stage, I was like, okay, I can do more. And I don't know when I'm going to feel, that's good enough. You're done well here. But the more I look into it, I don't think humans are made that way. Because when you reach a certain level, you always want more. And
that's true. Absolutely.
And
that's the human nature.
It's just human nature. To be very blunt, I don't know. I could do it 5 years, 3 years. Probably I can do it in 6 months. Who knows? But whenever it comes, I'm happy. Even if it doesn't, I'm still happy.
What would you do? First thing that comes into your mind. Don't think. What would you do?
Charity.
I'll tell you what. I planned this episode to be teaching people about entrepreneurship, steps of entrepreneurship, how's the journey, sharing your experience. It turned out to be a very motivational, spiritual, high-level discussion about money, about entrepreneurship, and about failure, and about acceptance and abundance mindset. It's unbelievable. Salman, thank you very much for that. I honestly enjoyed every minute of this episode. I think I'll enjoy it more editing it, because you'll stay in my head for at least 48 hours while I'm editing it. And thank you for the team. So let's thank the team, the camera crew, the lighting people, the audio.
Yeah.
So everyone here, thank you.
I haven't killed anybody in your team. Just letting you know. I want the viewers to know he literally killed one of my team members.
I didn't kill.
Yes, you did. Almost killed him. You shouted at the poor guy. Almost.
I didn't shout.
His mom was like so upset with me. Why did you kill my son? I was like, I didn't do it. It's Usama.
Okay. So just for the record, I work in the events industry, and if you know events, the event must go on. And if I have someone who is not performing well,
the poor guy performed well. You put him under pressure.
Oh, okay. So that's another story for another time. Salman, thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thank you.